First of all, I want to thank you for joining us and welcome you to our presentation of Building a Path Forward, Trends in ERP and PIC Applications. My name is Corey Luckow and I'm Vice President of Zumasys. I have previously managed our database and tools division for JBase and QM, but I've shifted my focus to our applications business, specifically on our upcoming release of Rover ERP 2022. Partnering with our Director of Technology, Mike Wright, who will be presenting shortly. There are three things we want you to walk away with from today's presentation. A better understanding of who Zumasys is, or the story of Zumasys, the state and trends of the current ERP market, and the bright future of the applications that you utilize today. So who is Zumasys? Zumasys was founded in August of 2000, focused on providing IT solutions for small to mid-sized businesses. Our solutions allowed our clients to preserve and evolve their existing business critical applications. In 2006, when Rackspace was the leading cloud provider, Zumasys launched its own application hosting offering, or cloud, that provided small and mid-sized businesses a slice of an enterprise infrastructure solution for a fraction of the cost. This was a game changer for our company and provided the business with substantial growth in recurring revenue, averaging 43% annual revenue growth and creating relationships with over 2,000 customers. The IT services and cloud industry was becoming commoditized, with Microsoft and Amazon dethroning leaders like Rackspace. We knew it was time to pivot towards a business model that provided a unique value to the customer, which led us to the acquisitions of Nerdery Tools, Accuterm, JBase, and OpenQM. PIC multi-value is a NoSQL database and programming language popularized in the 1970s and is still in place at many organizations today, like your own. The multi-value group was looking for a leader, and we provided that path for customers and their application vendors to modernize these applications, keeping the critical business logic that had been developed over the years that's hyper customized to your business, but introducing an intuitive web interface or integrating the application with popular SaaS services. The competition was minimal, but again, it was difficult to persuade end users and software providers to make a significant investment to modernize their custom applications. This led us to team up with like-minded application vendors looking for growth and a way to provide their customers a path to modernization, with Zumasys acquiring 7 software providers over the course of this last 3 years. Now, a family of ERP and retail software applications, we're writing the story of Zumasys 3.0, a startup application company that has successfully transitioned 2 other times and is now looking to leverage over 20 years of experience of cloud and software services expertise to transform itself into a national application software provider, and most importantly, collectively integrating the talent and products of these 7 separate companies, leveraging the decades of application and industry wisdom. Many of you have not only come to love the software you use, but also the team you interact with and that supports your application. Zumasys has a rich history of accomplishment in establishing and growing an engaged and enthusiastic workforce. Our secret lies in our core values and in our company's vision statement, inspiring our employees, clients, and partners to embrace happiness by helping them achieve their goals, passions, and dreams. We've tried to empower our employees with something greater than a paycheck. Our Happiness is a Choice program has helped support employees' connection to a deeper purpose. Through our local and international serve events, matching employee donations, and our international travel incentive, helping employees experience new and different environments. We've also invited customers, partners, and friends to take part of these initiatives. Our business is split pretty evenly, with most of our software services business supporting customers' modernization initiatives that don't even run our own ERP applications. We have a deep bench of programming talent. In the last 12 months, we've actually tripled the size of our product development team, and we continue to add developers that are focused on customer-specific customizations. And we are laser focused on modernizing your applications through the solutions we provide. And to tell you more about what is shaping our focus and what you can expect from our product team in the future, I'd like to hand over the presentation now to our leader of product team and director of technology, Mike Wright.
Right. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate that run through. Hopefully that was a nice overview of the company for everybody who's not quite familiar with us yet. So I'm the director of technology here at Zumasys. I've been with the company for about 3 years now, a little bit over that. It's been quite a journey in the move from databases and utilities and everything else to these vertical applications. But fortunately, that's something that's part and parcel to my career in technology. I got my start with a vertical application accounts receivable software vendor. That's how I came to know Zumasys and came to know the industry and everything else. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be talking to each of you today. We're here to talk about specifically some trends that we see in the ERP ecosystem. Some of this is leveraging some analysis that Gartner has done. Some of it is based off of our own perspective on things and our own experiences here in this post-COVID, post-pandemic world. But yeah, this is a journey that everybody's kind of on together. As we navigate this new landscape that we're in. So the first trend is really how everybody's shifting post-pandemic. And the big thing with ERP is that your whole ecosystem is wider now. It's been this whole, I think speaking for myself, I'm assuming everyone feels this too, change is more constant now than ever. And so it's just been a process of relearning that here. And understanding, business is maybe less predictable from one day to the next. And not only that, but the core of your business, the backbone of who you are, your ERP, right? Your user base is expanding beyond just your employees to customers and suppliers and partners and stakeholders and everything like that. So there's this whole life has changed post-pandemic. You've got more people that are interested in the platform. Which means you need to increase accessibility of the platform. You can do that by modernizing. You've got to support hybrid work environments now, at least for some employees. There's a demand to be working remote part-time. Maybe your sales staff is on the road quite a lot too, so they've had remote demands of the system for a while. So all these things are kind of coming together here and have really come to a head post-pandemic. And one thing that's coming out of that is that these composable ERPs are becoming very, very popular. It doesn't necessarily have to be a monolithic ERP. You're getting a building block of things that you can use to build up your backbone, really. And maybe you're doing it in the cloud. Maybe it's not all on premise anymore. So second thing is that, yeah, it's just continuing on that point on mobile. Mobile is becoming more and more of the norm. Mobile remote accessibility. This shift to high amount of remote work has really underlined that demand, that need to be able to access your systems, your data from anywhere, to be able to do it without having to set up or leverage IT groups to maintain clunky VPN tunnels and infrastructure to support how you connect into the system. People want the data at their fingertips 24/7. You need the data at your fingertips 24/7. And you need to be able to get to it from any device then, not just I've got to plug in a laptop or a desktop workstation and get in and deal with things. And what we're finding is shifting to these mobile interfaces, it boosts productivity throughout the organization and outside the organization. Go mobile first, you unlock access, it makes it easier to get your customers in to make payments and things like that, place new orders. It makes it easier for you to interact with your suppliers. Big thing too, right? At a time where it seems like there's a lot of questions about the workforce out there and people's appetite for things. It seems turnover is higher than it typically has been, and so it's really critical that you're able to bring new people into the organization quickly and efficiently, which can be harder to do with the legacy systems where there's a higher amount of training required for someone to get productive with it. So by pushing all these things over to next generation applications, really helps in a lot of different ways for the organization. Third trend is really around the data here and how you can level up the data that the system is providing for you and the decisioning that you're making from that data. A lot of this has to do with being in sort of a spreadsheetless world. We call it the brave new spreadsheetless world. It's very easy. It's a familiar story for people to have a lot of things that they're pulling down into Excel or Google Sheets and managing and then distributing out to the company from there. And it's a manual layer that you're having to apply to the outputs of the system. And anytime you get into having manual effort around something, it starts to limit growth potential. So a big thing here when we say spreadsheetless world, it's not everybody uninstall Excel. It's how can we have the system be churning on the data, presenting it directly to you or your stakeholders and users in a way where it doesn't require you to pull things down into Excel and be doing a bunch of manipulation and then redistributing or feeding into another system. It's about connecting systems together. It's about connecting people to the data. And it's big. It really has to happen. Next trend is this concept of the democratized ERP. And when we say that, we're really talking about, it goes back to that notion of opening up access to the system, to the data for all kinds of users, and kind of breaking down the monolithic aspect of things. What we've got here, so everybody's probably used to the story of, you've got the ERP, it's a monolith. You want to have changes made, and that can be costly to have customizations layered in because it's one big thing that needs to have the hood popped on it and a lot of work done to retool it. So there's a big shift away from just straight customizing through code, but instead of delivering customizations through configuration, it's a big principle that we cling to as a way to really streamline value there. The other aspect of this is just is the cloud shift. So instead of running everything on-prem, maybe you're not pushing everything into the cloud, but maybe you're starting to split and put some systems into the cloud to increase accessibility to them. A lot of organizations are moving in that direction. And when you kind of live between both, you have some on-prem, some in cloud, you call that a hybrid scenario. Similarly, right, where you kind of go, I'm going to run some stuff locally, I'm going to run some stuff in the cloud. Maybe you're mixing and matching between ERP vendors or software application vendors in general. And that's the last big point here is a lot of vendors, ourselves included, will look at some of these systems and say, hey, we're going to provide you quote management or a CRM. We're delivering these aspects of the ERP to you through our applications. But we acknowledge there's other vendors out there that maybe do those things better because they're specializing in just CRM, or my favorite is sales tax calculation, right? Avalara specializes just in sales tax calculation. And so a big part of this is that, well, yes, we advance this functionality internally, we also make the system connectable and accessible to these other services so that you can say, hey, I want to use Salesforce for my CRM, but I want to have Rover or Foresight or what have you driving everything else on the back end. It's just tantamount to these systems be able to talk to one another efficiently and easily. It gives you the freedom of picking and choosing what's going to best suit your organization. The last trend is really kind of, it's always on the horizon, right? It's the future. So this is where it's going right now, but where is it going to continue to go? And that's this concept of the rise of the iERP, this intelligent ERP system. The big thing here is, we're still in the early days of AI and machine learning and those concepts, but they're not going away. We're only seeing them pop up more and more. You think about Outlook and typing up an email and how it'll try to predict what you want to say next. Gmail does the same thing. So these things are becoming more and more ubiquitous in tech, and they will become ubiquitous here too. AI and machine learning and the concept of furthering automation of things for you by the ERP, this is the future of ERP, honestly. So where we're at right now and what we're talking about with modernizing and opening up access to the data and everything, it really is just the beginning of where this is headed. And you just think, you know, when you have a good AI tied into things, you start to get into predictive sales campaigns and automatic, you know, economic maximization of your purchasing, your warehouse planning becomes more automated and more intelligent, right? These are things where the system can start to take on some of the things that you're probably still orchestrating today. That's the end goal with all of it. And we think it's coming fast, right? By 2023, ERP data expected to fuel 30% of all predictive analysis of the enterprise. That's a big number. So it's exciting stuff. What does it mean for you, though? That's the transformation here that we have ongoing at Zumasys right now with Rover and with all of our ERP applications. So we have it dubbed Rover ERP 2022. But my big takeaway for people is that by and large, all the applications you see up here, with the exception of the Rover ERP desktop client, they're Rover in name, but we have built these things to be connectable and usable by all of our ERPs. And some are already bearing fruit from that. We have connected several ERPs into our BI system, for instance. So we're very excited about this new suite of products. You hear a lot about Rover from us, but rest assured, this is not, you know, you have to be on Rover as the ERP to be unlocking the functionality of all of these things. We're building them in a way. These are cloud hosted software as a service applications that can be connected into all of our ERPs. And we also have options too, if you really wanted to run them on premise, that's something we can support as well, help you get them deployed on premise using a fun technology called Docker. So with that in mind, the first one we're excited about, Rover Hub. This is the new version of the customer portal, old customer portal, that allows your customers and in the future suppliers as well to log in and interface with your system instead of having to ring you up on the phone. So right now, customers can log in, review invoices, pay them by ACH or credit card. In the future, they'll be able to manage some of their, you know, specific customer information, do quotes and sales orders online, get to shipment and RMA info online. And then further still down the road is where we'll get to supplier access and reports and other integrations for the suppliers. Very excited about this one. The other one that's out in the wild right now, available to you today, is the Rover BI tool, our web-based real-time BI platform. We've got a few different dashboards that we have constructed as our base dashboard package. And we're continuing to churn on that. There's a lot of different things you can do with reporting and analytics. And so we've gone through and we've connected up all of our different data sources into the system so that you can have these building blocks to be able to construct your own visualizations, you know, play with the data the way you might want to play with it. And while we're doing that, we're continuing to churn on building additional dashboards and retooling the visualizations that we've got. Next, this is just about to release, is our Rover, oh, that went too far, Rover Scan, the barcode app that is great for warehouse workers. So say goodbye to, you know, clunky telnet device that you got to be fearful of losing connectivity into the system and everything else, and hello to this new web-based mobile app for barcode scanning. So inventory checks, pulling, picking, transferring stuff around the warehouse, like all of this functionality is baked in. This is the cool thing about this. Well, a cool thing about this is that it's actually being delivered through the web client. So yes, you're seeing a mobile rendering here, but this will also work on, you know, existing desktop devices, because many of you have those stations sitting in the warehouse today. So this will work on that. It'll work on tablets, really it allows you, as long as you've got a device that can connect to internet and run a web browser, this is going to work on it. And this is really just the beginning. So very exciting. From there, we've got our API gateway, Rover Gateway. So we've got several integrations in place already. We can connect you into Avalara, ShipStation, Amazon, SendGrid, Miva. We've got plenty, and we've got several others upcoming. So Salesforce and QuickBooks. But yeah, that's one that's we're very open to feedback on the APIs. So if you have a system that you would love to connect your ERP into, let us know, because we have a place for that to occur. We have a way to make it all happen for you. And we're not going to pretend to know all of the different vendors and options out there that you're interested in using. So just get in touch and we can really get you scheduled, get the work done, and continue to build out this nice big happy ecosystem of applications. The big one, I know a lot of people have been waiting on this, the desktop client. We are beta testing this internally right now and completing conversion efforts. So squashing bugs, polishing up some screens, tweaking some look and feel things. But we're going to open up beta access pretty soon to you. Again, this one is just for Rover customers. So I'm sorry to the Foresight, Crescendo, and ProMan and other folks that we have in attendance. But we're really excited about this one because the existing Windows GUI really is showing its age now. Look and feel more like a Windows XP application. It functions, but performance is an issue in certain places. Everybody knows how slow cust.q can be to load up. So we're really excited about the new .NET backed version of this for a number of reasons. Yes, it's still a Windows GUI, but performance is insanely better. And it's going to set the table for a lot of net new and cool things to happen within the Windows desktop world, which we don't expect to go away. The cool thing is it's supplemental. All of the stuff that's happening here is really supplemental and can live in harmony with all of the things that are happening for the web. So we do think there's value in this. We do see a place for all of these things to coexist in the same ecosystem together. And to that end, we are also moving or building out a web-based version of that client too. So not only are we focused on the customers and suppliers and outside users and the BI and reporting things, but we're also building out this fully web-based version of the Rover desktop client so that you can access it through the web the same way. Like I mentioned, the scan app actually lives in here. It's the last one you'd see down that menu list, the barcode app. We're also, if you notice, there's dashboard here, and that's because the BI utility does have an integration into here too. So if you were to look at the BI stuff and say, that's great, I love the visualizations, I don't necessarily need to get in and access and create net new ones myself, Web Client's going to be the place for you because it will tie into the base dashboard and reporting packages so that you can get to them through here instead of having to go into a separate system. Otherwise, the thing with this is, yeah, anything and everything that can be done through the desktop client is being transitioned, or I should say, I don't want to say replicated because we're not doing a one-to-one look and feel replication. We're leveraging the web to reimagine some of these forms, modules, but all the functionality available through the desktop client will be available through the web client too. Again, the desktop client won't go away. So that's a very exciting thing. And here, so if we haven't talked to you yet about it, we've got a couple of different tiers for these services. So depending on the tier you're on with us, that's what unlocks access to some of the different offerings that we've got. Corey would be more than happy to talk you through the options here. If he hasn't talked to you already, then you're probably on his short list to get with. So with that, I'm going to thank you for the time. But thanks again, Corey. I'm going to kick it back to you.
Thank you, Mike. So we want to wrap up with asking, do you believe? Do you believe in the power of your ERP, your application, that it's been tailor-made for your organization and business, that provides you a competitive advantage over your competitors, and that it's capable of being modernized to meet the requirements of your business, not only today, but for tomorrow? And we believe that you can confidently answer yes to those questions, and hope this presentation has given you the belief that Zumasys has a proven track record of modernizing business critical applications through cloud, web, or API enablement. Their company and your software are aligned with future trends of the industry, and that we will continue to build the relationships you have made previously and provide you the service that you've come to expect. We'd like to open it up to email Mike or myself if you have any questions or would like to schedule a discussion or demonstration of the products that you've heard about today. And we appreciate you taking the time to attend today's presentation and hope that you have a great rest of your day. Take care.